After careful consideration and reviewing the current eligibility guidelines, I am officially declaring myself a WNBA prospect.
I don't know Sophie, so I can only project what I see about her beliefs based on her actions. Riley Gaines has made it her life's mission to exclude trans people from public life.
As you guys all know, the WNBA is trying very hard to grow, and three stories are dominating the headlines right now. I would say Sophie Cunningham, a very uncontroversial opinion in my view, said that transgender women should not be in women's sports. Fair enough. Sophie Cunningham entered the chat. Dakich entered the chat. Julie Tettard entered the chat. Gabby Williams entered the chat. Everyone is on top of this story. And I think the biggest one I'm going to have for you guys today is Enes Kanter. That's his name? He entered the chat. Apparently, he wants to join the NBA. Or, excuse me, she wants to join the NBA. I don't even know what to say anymore. Somewhere along the line, we got so confused about what a woman is. It's now kind of a subjective opinion. And this can be kind of traced back to even Dean Withers' interview with Jubilee. I found that so interesting how he defined a woman. I'm like, I've never heard a woman defined in so much words in my whole entire life. But anyways, guys, let's get into the story. And let's kind of start back where it all started. Sophie Cunningham gave me a very uncontroversial opinion. And let's play that clip.
On that same vein, in that story with ESPN, you talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so.
Now for the next one, which is kind of interesting, we're going to have Megan Rapinoe's response to her, because we know that she's been hitting back, but nothing's been sticking. I think even Stephanie White tried to insinuate that exclusion isn't the answer. And she used to play with the boys all the time. Okay. I would pay money to see. You would have me attend my first NBA game if we merge the leagues. That's all I can say. That would be so interesting. Even though I know the outcome. But it would be interesting. I'm not going to lie. Alright, so now let's watch what Dan Dakich reports on Megan Rapinoe. And I'm not a huge fan of Dan Dakich, guys. I'm not. But I will say I gotta agree with him on this. It's kind of cut and dry for me. I played with girls and I played with boys. I've watched girls play, I've watched boys play. In football, that's my sport, and it's night and day. Nothing personal, it's just night and day. It's different. Two different games. Let's check it out, y'all.
I don't know Sophie, so I can only project what I see about her beliefs based on her actions. Riley Gaines has made it her life's mission to exclude trans people from public life.
It isn't that difficult, Megan. Quit doing what you and all your liberal brethren do. You got you play with the boy. You don't have you play with the girl. It ain't that freaking deep, sweetheart.
I think it's even more detailed than that. If you're born a man, you play with the boys. If you're born a woman, you play with the girls. Because if you even take it away, the D word, the biological differences are still there. Height, strength, physicality, speed, reaction time, explosiveness, everything. It's just a litany of physical traits that you can't duplicate. But let's keep watching Dan Dakich. I found him very funny. Not a fan, but we can agree with people even though we're not on the same team.
Other mad. They're bigly mad. Megan Rapinoe and other woke gas bags are mad at our girl Riley Gaines, mad at our other girl Sophie Cunningham. And, you know, we always say, you kind of define yourself by your enemies. And if you've got Megan Rapinoe as an enemy, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. Our favorite gas bag, our favorite moron, she's returned, and she is pissed. She's going at Outkick legend Riley Gaines. She's going at the face of the WNBA, Sophie Cunningham, and she's bigly mad. Wait for it.
All right, to be honest, guys, Sophie's not the face of the WNBA. Her shoes did sell off pretty fast, but what I can say is that this political debate, her making this opinion, has brought in so much new fans. I think that the portal for the WNBA has now become politics to become successful. And it's working. It's got me. I think I might go watch Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark. They're on the same team. I don't even, for me, watching men's sports versus women's sports almost every single time it feels like I'm watching it in slow motion. But I would go watch because, the people, they're kind of, just common sense is so enticing. You'd go watch the person with common sense play their sport. Isn't that crazy?
You're going to hear some anger in Megan Rapinoe's voice. Here she goes.
I want to address the controversy that is happening right now around trans women in sports. As you know, I've talked about this a lot and will continue to keep talking about this. I don't know Sophie, so I can only project what I see about her beliefs based on her actions. And seeing a picture of her with Riley Gaines after the game told me everything I need to know about what's happening. Riley Gaines has made it her life's mission to exclude trans people from public life. She's directly tied to the Heritage Foundation, the authors of Project 2025 and now 2026, who have now published a report that suggests that they want to repeal Title IX, the very piece of legislation that allowed athletes like Sophie and myself to compete in sports. Sophie has claimed both to love trans people and support Title IX. And this is where I think the accountability with having a major platform is extremely important. You can hear it even in the language being used that the root of trans exclusion is to protect young girls from men. To be clear, I would love to have that conversation, and it's much needed in this country. But it frames the conversation as if we're protecting young girls from men being in WNBA locker rooms. Not happening. It villainizes trans girls as if they're somehow magically older than their peers or are men, when in reality, they are also young girls. These laws are excluding kids from playing youth sports. If we want to have a conversation around elite sports, there are effective policies that have been in place for many years that no one noticed because they worked. So if anybody is taking these talking points as legit or believing they're protecting young girls in sports, I just have to ask, are you serious?
Yes.
You see, like, whenever I hear Megan Rapinoe talk, I feel like she says a whole lot of stuff without saying anything. Can you give some actual factual data, some real arguments as to why they should be there? We talk about protecting girls from men. Now, some people make this much more than it actually is. I truly believe that that conversation is valid. It's not as prevalent as you might think. In 2026, y'all, the world is very different. And we all know how misandry goes these days. A lot of people hate men. But I don't quite get Megan Rapinoe. What is she even saying? That somehow they should be in the sport? But how do you account for the biological and physical differences that they have? The Tennis Association did something where I think they put some kind of gender-based testing or testosterone-based testing. I'm okay with that, but for me, they should have their own competition. That's just how I see it. No matter what you do, guys, once you're a male or a female, different hormones are started. I'm guessing my best case for the trans argument could be if you transition at an extremely early age and at the same time before puberty hits. But why would you want to do that to a kid? I don't get it. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. But Megan Rapinoe doesn't have any real points. She just tries to say that Sophie is a bad person. That's basically what she tried to do. And our question is, seriously? Well, there is nothing on a large scale that can compensate for an influx of natural-born males playing in women's sports. And no, of course, we're gonna villainize men overall, whatever. And you know what's funny? For a man to get some kind of sympathy, he has to turn into a woman. Oh my God, this is crazy, y'all. Anyways, let's get back to Dan.
I am serious. Nobody's excluding anybody. Nobody, and Sophie Cunningham certainly isn't excluding anybody, Megan. She's not. Absolutely not. What she is saying is go play with girls. Just because you feel like a boy today, just because Leah Thomas, from a sports perspective, not anything else, nobody's talking about anything else, but from a sports perspective, Just because you want to dress up and feel like a woman, and nobody's saying that's good, bad, happy, or sad. Great, go do it. All anybody is saying is very simple. Dudes shouldn't be in women's locker room.
I think that's pretty simple. What I find interesting, though, before we get into our main topic of the day, is how the other women are attacking Sophie, these so-called feminists. I don't know why it is about the trans argument that gets these liberal women like this. But let's take a look at that next. And just to make a point on what he said, you can live your life, you just shouldn't play sports. That doesn't mean she's trying to destroy their lives. She's just saying that trans people should play with trans people, and women and men play with women and men. That's it. It's not complex. And men are physically superior. It won't end well if we play with women. That's all I can say.
Said anything about being right-wing. Here are these two little girls.
Sophie Cunningham has just continued to fan the flames here.
Yeah.
And she most recently posed with Riley Gaines, who was a swimmer, not even a very good one, who is super anti-trans women in sports. And she also posed for a picture with the Levi's executive, Jennifer Say.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're trying. See, every time I hear a liberal woman try to argue, it's kind of feelings first. No facts, no data, no real life scenarios that can prove their point. In this video, she goes on to say that eventually she's gonna be like at the top of MAGA, which may be true, I don't know, because Trump loved this kind of stuff. But how can somebody be a terrible person just because they don't think you should be in their sport for their own safety? How can that make someone a bad person? It's so ridiculous and stupid. Now we got something so interesting. Now we got Gabby Williams talking about her take on transgender women in sports, and as it turns out, she would love to play with them. This video at the time of making this got 9.7 million views.
I think it's trans rights now is our new battle. That's what I think that I was saying, that like the battles have changed. Oh, yes. You know, like our intentions have been the same, but now the environment has changed. We see trans people's rights being, you know, stripped away from them. There's a lot of discourse around trans athletes and what they can compete in. I would welcome a trans athlete on my team or against my team anytime. I don't think it's a problem in the world. It's just another way to kind of attack trans people. You know, we've seen players like Lasia Clarendon who stepped into that forefront and have been brave enough and courageous enough to kind of step up. So I guess that's the next battle that we have to fight as athletes. I think it's trans rights.
I want to ask you guys something. And a woman simply saying that she doesn't want to play with a biological man, is that somehow stripping away their rights? Isn't that me expressing a personal opinion and me advocating for my personal, I guess, safety or, you know, comfort? Because I think they're safe. I think they're maybe just not comfortable, to be fair. And she says this assuming that all of her does she really believe all of her teammates think this way? And I guess in her opinion, if her teammates don't think this way, I guess they must be probably sexist, misogynistic, or transphobic. You know how the buzzwords go. Now, the thing is, I guess some people have decided to take up Gabby Williams on her offer. And we do have many people, of course, denouncing it. Here and there, we have Stephanie White saying that, I used to play with boys all the time. Exclusion is not the answer. Kind of trying to dance on the fence of it. We have some tennis players trying to dance on the fence of it too. And we had one tennis player who was honest and said that that's good, you're protecting the sport. I think this is 100% a first world problem, but someone took up Gabby Williams on her offer. Let's look at Julie Tetart.
France since 2001, 6'3", averaging 20 in France's Ligue number 2. I can watch her in 2 minutes and say she would be great in the WNBA, or he would be great, whatever you want to call it. You think they'll ever do that? Think they'll pull the trigger on this woman?
Yeah.
That can ball, Dan. That can ball. I watched her highlights. That is a bad. Not only did she average 20 points, 20 rebounds. We're talking about a 20-20 guy. I mean, if the WNBA is inclusive, then this French all-star WNBA team has to sign him, her. And this is why I said I put in a franchise application, Dan. The Nashville Balls, my WNBA team, would be the greatest dynasty of all time. Most inclusive, too. We're only signing men who identify as women. Our slogan is one love, two balls, and we are going to absolutely just dominate the WNBA. You thought that back in the day, Wooden had a dynasty at UCLA, that Bill Russell and the Celtics were something to behold. You ain't seen nothing till you've seen what the Nashville Balls will do in the WNBA. We are just going to put trans center court, literally, and we are going to have the greatest dynasty in the history of sport. People will start debating. They won't be debating Michael Jordan and LeBron James anymore. They'll be debating that bad Julie Tattart from the WNBA, from the Nashville Balls versus Jordan. Move over, LeBron. We got a new GOAT debate.
Oh my God. And by the way, this, like you said, she said that, I guess, he or she wouldn't say no to the WNBA. And guys, this is clearly a man with a ponytail. Come on. This is a man with a ponytail. This has gotten so ridiculous. Let's take a look at this, y'all.
After careful consideration and reviewing the current eligibility guidelines, I am officially declaring myself a WNBA prospect. If simply declaring who you are is all that's required, then I meet every single requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA. My team and I have carefully examined the WNBA's eligibility criteria and governing framework surrounding self-identification and inclusion. Based on the current guidelines, I can and am officially declaring my eligibility for the upcoming WNBA draft in May 2027. I am definitely not here to mock, make fun of, or disrespect any community or personal choices. I am simply asking that the current rules be applied equally to everyone. The rules that represent the very values many WNBA players and coaches have publicly advocated for. My team and I are prepared to ensure these guidelines are applied equally, consistently, and without exception. And I look forward to the WNBA honoring its stated principles. See you at training camp.
Yo. Oh my God, what's this guy's name again? It's gonna hurt. Enes Kanter. Y'all, I guess they're calling the WNBA's bluff. Even that other lady who wore the trans kid shirt, trying to say there's not enough women in the WNBA coaching. I'm like, how hypocritical and ungrateful can you be? The reason you have a job is because of the NBA, the men that are playing. And you're complaining that there's not enough equality in the coaching. But you still want men to come play with you. Well, I can guarantee you this. This is the new equality. And it looks like you have to honor what Enes Kanter is saying. Treat him equally. He now identifies as a woman and he wants to play with y'all. So what you gonna do? Are you gonna stop him? Oh my God, this is this has gone so far, y'all. This has gone so far. It didn't have to go like, it didn't have to be like this, y'all. It didn't have to be like this. Oh my God, that was hilarious though. He said all that with a straight face. What I can say, my verdict on all this is that, is this helping the WNBA or hurting it? I think it's actually helping it. All this media attention, y'all, is going to be good. Sophie Cunningham, media value and political value has now soared past her player value. And I think just because of what she believes, you're going to want to watch her and what she stands for. And the fact that she has some cojones and she has a backbone, that's good. A lot of these women have no backbone and they just try to dance around the topic, including Stephanie White and the other Fevers players. But it's going to be interesting, y'all. It's going to be interesting. Guys, like and subscribe to this video. I appreciate y'all for watching to the end. And please, give me I want to hear other people's opinions. I am begging y'all, give me your take. Give me your take. I need to know, what do you really think about this? I guess, sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic. Am I all these buzzwords or am I just thinking logically? Because I feel like common sense is somewhere gone. I don't know, especially with the left. I don't like the right, I don't like the left, but common sense is more easily fleeting from the left, I must say. Anyways, y'all, thanks all for watching. See y'all. Deuces.